Hello, Starshine. This is Smadar from Song of Stones, and I am a crystal whisperer, which means I talk to stones and they talk to me. And we've got today some beautiful pieces of Copal that are singing for us. And I thought I would... before I introduce the 2024 year stone, I thought we'd take a look back at Copal, which was our year stone for 2023. I learned so much from this beautiful stone being, and it's not really a crystal, it's organic, it's dried sap. Similar to amber, just a little bit younger than amber. And I learned so much from this stone. Besides its beauty, it's got this beautiful translucency and this really soft and light essence to it. And it just loves the sun, and it's just so pretty in the sun. And the shapes of it, the beautiful shapes, you can see, I just picked a few random pieces to show you. And you can see just in these the different shapes that you can get them in. And I probably should have brought a wand because there's some beautiful ones that are kind of like an icicle shape. I guess they would drip and like stalagmites and stalactites in a cave and form these icicle kind of shapes, which are beautiful for wands. I love the ones that bend and twirl and twist, and these you can see, the ones in the middle, you can see the lines in them, the striations. And you can almost see how they formed in this beautiful river almost of thick moss. I'm saying moss because I've got moss on my mind. I'm sure you're going to hear me talk a lot about it. Moss is very connected to the stone beings. But you can see just the beautiful formations and how it flowed. It's almost like a it's almost like a picture of time. You know, these guys, and they're beautiful at taking pictures of time and preserving other beings, preserving fragments of nature, and who knows what can be preserved in amber. I found a piece of amber last year that was red, and to me it felt very much like preserved blood. And which is interesting because amber is kind of like it is the blood of the trees. It carries nutrients. And it also heals the trees. These beautiful beings are healers. When a tree has a cut or a gnash, the amber comes out and fills it and heals it. It's kind of like a Band-Aid until the tree is healed. But one of the big things about amber this year and this is the message that I got at the beginning of 2023 when I first was introduced to this beautiful being. I'd known about Copal before. I I always loved it, but I'd never really gotten to know it like I did last year. And it was perfect timing because you can, if you look at the name, Copal, Cope all, and it was sharing to me that it came into our lives at this time to help people cope with the collective trauma of recent years. The pandemic really affected us, and a lot of us are even still, I feel like society will never be the same. And I feel as if, we did go through a collective trauma in a way that doesn't happen very often. That we go through something so collectively. That as a society, and this did not just affect small communities. It affected the whole world. We were all so connected through this, through the global pandemic. And so Copal came in to help us release that trauma that may have been embedded in our psyches. And there was so much more to Copal that, I thought that was enough. Really, it was enough. Just that one thing. But then as the year went on, I just found out so much more about this beautiful being, some of which I already shared. And another thing that I discovered about it is its ability to help us get unstuck, which makes so much sense when we look at its nature, its stickiness. It's an expert on stickiness. So with that, it can help us with all that it knows about being stuck. It can help us do the opposite. It can help free us. It can help us get unstuck. There was one particular copal that came in with the citrine crystal that was specifically about extricating ourselves from cult-like conditions. And I know it's not something that maybe many of us have experienced, but in a sense, we've experienced the effects of being part of a cult, because being part of a society and being part of a global community, there are going to be things. We are going to be conditioned in ways that people in cults are conditioned. Obviously not to the same extent. But it is, we're definitely influenced and affected by, especially being on social media, by many things. And I'm going to think of an example. If you think of social media, the first thing that comes to mind is body image. And there's a lot about the way we treat ourselves, the way we treat our bodies, that comes from how we feel about our bodies. And that can be highly influenced by our society, by social media. I'm not going to get into more detail on that. I just wanted to share an example. And then the other thing that Copal does is it preserves. It preserves, we talked about that a little bit, but one of the things that we can benefit from that aspect of Copal is when we want to remember something. So if we are looking for a physical version of a and I'm not going to be able to say it. Mnemonic. There we go. Copal is great for that. If there's something that we want to integrate into our lives, Copal can be a beautiful help with that. And then the other thing, we were talking a little bit about seeing the middle pieces, how you can see the actual flow of the Copal. And Copal can help us be in flow. It can help us to also slow down. This is another one of those things that we're influenced by society, is the speed. We're constantly going, moving. Our minds are constantly working. And, it's made us the quickness and the speed at which life flows can make us very anxious. So Copal can help us slow down. It can help us feel into the rhythm of life, feel into the rhythm of our bodies. And then it can also help us, as we talked about, integrate new habits, solidify them. We're getting a lot of interruptions today. I forgot to unplug the phone, so excuse the ringing. And Copal is also a healer, as we talked about. And, there are some crystals like crystals with, I'm trying to remember what, I believe it's, I can't remember the mineral name for it, but there are some golden crystals that are literally called golden healers. And I feel like the gold is part of that, part of the connection to their healing nature. And I don't know if the gold is part of the healing properties, or if it just shows us, if it's our way of seeing that. I feel like I'm not explaining it so well. It's almost like, certain things in nature, like red colors indicate danger or poison in nature. It's kind of like our way of recognizing an ability through color. And I don't know if that's the case, if the golden color is for that, or if the gold itself is part of the healing. And it could be both. It could be both. So these guys, like, they heal the trees. They bandage them and seal them and heal them. They can do that for us as well. So that was just a short look back at our beautiful friend, Copal, our new friend, my new friend. I am going to hold Copal in my heart always, because I have had such a beautifully deep connection with this stone being, even though it's not actually a stone being. It is an earth gift, we can call it that. And I invite you guys, if you haven't experienced Copal yet, to please tap into its beautiful, beautiful wisdom and magic. And you can do that even if you don't have a piece with you. You can tap in through this video, through the images on the website, through your imagination, through your intention. I invite you to connect with this beautiful being. And I hope 2023 brought you some magic and some joy and lots and lots of gifts, whether it was through the crystals or through other ways that the universe has shared with you. And I'm excited to journey into this next year with new crystal beings and old friends. And I'm excited to share what's coming with you. And I will do that soon.